The rain had been falling since dawn, soaking the cracked streets and turning the city into a blur of gray when a woman knelt beside an open electrical panel, her hands trembling not from fear of the live wires but from exhaustion. Her clothes were worn, her boots patched more than once, and her face carried the quiet weight of someone who had learned how to survive disappointment. That morning, she did not know she was being watched by a man who owned more money than she could imagine, a man who had come searching not for profit but for truth. One decision, made in silence, was about to change both their lives forever. Before the story unfolds further, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of honesty, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Lonely Dad's Strong Heart. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Her name was Clara. She was a licensed electrician, but titles meant little when bills piled up faster than hope. Life had not been gentle with her. After her husband passed away in a factory accident, she was left with debts, an aging mother, and a small apartment where the lights flickered more often than they stayed on. Clara worked wherever she could, fixing broken wiring in old buildings, crawling through damp basements, climbing unsafe stairwells, always charging less than she should because she knew what it felt like to have nothing. Every job was a calculation between dignity and survival. That rainy morning, Clara had been called to repair a power issue in an abandoned-looking warehouse on the edge of the city. The caller sounded rough, impatient, and vague, but the pay, though modest, was enough to cover groceries for the week. When she arrived, she noticed the place was too clean to be truly abandoned. Security cameras hid behind corners, and expensive cars were parked far away, disguised under layers of dust. What she did not know was that the warehouse belonged to one of the richest men in the country, a billionaire who had grown tired of people smiling for his money and lying for his approval. The billionaire had once been poor himself. Years ago, before wealth built walls around his life, he had slept in his car and worked odd jobs, including electrical work. Success had come fast, then faster, until he could no longer tell who around him was genuine. Every handshake felt rehearsed, every compliment sounded purchased, so he decided to test something he believed had disappeared from the world: pure honesty. He designed a quiet experiment. He would disguise himself as a struggling property owner with a severe electrical fault, and he would offer a life-changing sum of money to someone who had every reason to take advantage of him. As Clara worked on the faulty system, she discovered the problem was far worse than described. The wiring was outdated and dangerous, a fire waiting to happen. Fixing it properly would take days, not hours, and cost far more than the amount she had been promised. She could have done a temporary fix, something quick and cheap, something that would hold just long enough for her to get paid and leave. No one would know. People rarely cared how things were done, only that the lights turned on. But as she traced the wires, she imagined her mother sleeping somewhere above, unaware of the danger beneath her feet. Clara had lost too much already to gamble with someone else's life. The disguised billionaire watched silently from a distance, his heart pounding in a way it had not in years. He expected shortcuts. He expected excuses. Instead, he saw a woman sitting back on her heels, closing her eyes, and taking a deep breath as if preparing herself for bad news. When she finally reported the truth, she explained that the system was unsafe, that it could not be repaired cheaply or quickly, and that she would understand if he wanted to cancel the job. She even offered to show him how to shut off the power safely until proper repairs could be done, without charging extra. What he heard shook him. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was rare. She was turning down work she desperately needed. She was choosing integrity over survival, and she did not even know she was being tested. The billionaire decided to push further. He mentioned he had very little money left, that this building was all he had, and that he needed the cheapest solution possible. He hinted that a small fix would be enough, that no one else needed to know. Clara listened carefully. The rain dripped from her hair onto the concrete floor. Her stomach tightened as she thought about the unpaid electricity bill at home. But she stood firm. She explained again that she could not do a job that would put someone in danger. She said she would rather walk away than be responsible for a tragedy. That moment changed everything. For years, the billionaire had written checks to charities, funded foundations, and built schools. Yet he had never felt something this deep. This was not generosity motivated by applause. This was honesty that cost something. He ended the test then and there. He revealed who he truly was, not with arrogance, but with humility. The shock on Clara's face was not excitement, but confusion and fear. She assumed she had done something wrong. Her hands shook as she waited for judgment. Instead, the man explained why he was there. He told her he had set aside $1 million, not as a reward for skill, but as a gift for character. He said she had passed a test she never agreed to take. When he told her the money was hers, no strings attached, Clara did not celebrate. She broke down. Years of bottled grief, stress, and quiet resilience poured out of her in silent tears that echoed through the empty warehouse. That day did not end with a dramatic handshake or flashing cameras. Clara went home still unsure if it was real. But the next morning, the money was there. $1 million, legally transferred, documented, undeniable. For the first time in years, Clara slept without fear. The change was not instant luxury. She did not buy mansions or cars. She paid debts. She fixed her mother's home properly. She invested in her own small electrical business, hiring apprentices from struggling backgrounds, especially women who had been told the trade was not for them. She refused to cut corners. She paid fair wages. Her reputation grew not because of advertising, but because people felt safe when she worked on their homes. The billionaire did not disappear from her life either. He funded safety programs, scholarships, and training centers through Clara's company, not under his name, but hers. He said the world needed more people like her leading quietly from the front. Watching her succeed healed something broken inside him. He realized that trust, once lost, could be rebuilt, not through money, but through moments. Years later, that warehouse became a training center. On its wall hung no plaque with the billionaire's name. Instead, a simple message was written about honesty, responsibility, and courage. Visitors often felt something when they read it, though they did not always know why. Clara never forgot the rain, the wires, the choice. She taught her apprentices that skill could be learned, but character had to be chosen every day. And somewhere deep inside, she knew that even if the test had never happened, she would have made the same decision. Because integrity was not something she turned on and off. It was how she survived. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that honesty still matters in a world obsessed with shortcuts, please like this video, share it, and stay connected with Lonely Dad's Strong Heart. Your engagement helps these stories reach people who need hope the most. Before this video ends, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and tell us one moment in your life when you chose honesty even when it was hard. Your story might inspire someone silently struggling today. Because sometimes, the smallest honest act, done by the most ordinary person, can move millions, change lives, and remind the world that goodness is still real.